Hi, everybody. I see you got some of your questions ready. How are you doing today? This fine February Tuesday, the 18th of February, long month. So, you guys, oh, thanks, Sonia. Thank you, moms, in advance. What are you asking Earth Mama? Nice to see you. Yes, this is true. You're asking me, do I think they'll be stopped in time? Well, my guides tell me they will. Um, I'll wait till more people show up because they did give you a message regarding that specifically, everybody. Um, they're trying their damnedest, though, to destroy America on Putin's orders, I say. Um, hey, Carolyn. Good evening, Brenda. It's so crazy. It's such a crazy time. I don't have to tell you guys that. It just is this ongoing, like, surreal nightmare. But every time I ask my guides, they say it's just going to be temporary and it will end. They're such idiots. Trump, Musk, Vance, the whole lot of them, like the stupidity. Hey, Jackie. Hey, Artistic World. Ooh, from Ireland. Nice to see ya. Ireland must think we're just, well, the same thing as they did the last time Trump was president, allegedly. But even like on steroids, even worse. Hey, Jackie B. So I don't really, yeah, it is so embarrassing. We did not vote for that guy. That's what I always want to tell the world when I hear like interviews or something, like in the interviewer says, well, the majority voted for him. I'm like, no, that is not, don't say that. That's not true. I think about 30% of this country voted for him. And we're still in this kind of phase of waiting for that information to come out, which it has to come out. It has to come out. Hey, Jamie. Hey, Critter. Oh, nice to see you. I bet it's warm in New Mexico. It's like 18 degrees here right now. Yeah, wildflower. I do too. It's just not true. We all know it's not true. It's so obvious. It just gets worse and worse. I don't believe he got 77 million votes. I don't believe that. I personally, maybe you can call me a conspiracy theorist, but when it comes out of the mouths of the people themselves, such as Trump and Musk, regarding stealing this election in our faces. I heard there was a group of statisticians internationally that said that just looking at the exit polls and the reality is like 30% of this country voted for Trump, and that of the people who voted, they say Harris got 60 to 70% of the vote, which I might have said on the other live. And 33% of Republicans switched their party affiliation to vote against Trump. And remember what it was like before that infamous day, November 5th, when the election was called for Trump, and it was 4 hours after the polling, and Musk was interviewed and laughed when his son said it's a secret, that like his daddy stole the election. It's obvious that besides all the Jim Crow stolen votes, which were about 3 million, but he did not. I don't believe he got 77 million votes. Les, what are you saying here? He got less than 25% of the vote. If on its face, I mean, just looking at the exit polls and stuff like that, that's just that was why we were all so confident. And then election day, and we all had that horrible feeling something had changed. We collectively knew it. Yeah, that well, not just one satellite. I think he had 250 satellites that, like, over a month before the election, all of a sudden were grouped around the United States strategically. I think it might have been, I heard seven satellites, but I don't know, really know how many. But I did hear satellites were destroyed. But I still believe that there's a digital trail. I just don't believe that something like that, that you can, I think Musk thought he could delete the programming, the script, whatever the evidence. But my guides told me this a few days ago when I asked. They said, think about the people who work for Musk. Nobody's gonna, they're not the type of people who would follow those kind of orders. They're gonna put a thumb drive in there somewhere. They're gonna have that information. Like, this is just not the age where information goes missing like that, because it's like to cover their butts, or to have something on Musk, or just because that's what you do when you're a hacker. So they clearly showed me that even though Musk believed that by blowing up those satellites, or whatever he did, he has an app on his phone that controls all of it, that he, pressed delete. But I saw that the people, actual hackers, because, Musk doesn't do it himself, right? He hires these kids. Uh, but yeah, they said no. And also, I have to believe that our uh, NASA, whoever, he has a government contract or contracts with various agencies in the government. Surely they have to have some kind of uh, uh, a mirror imaging of those satellites. Also, I can't believe that that stuff it's too big. Oh yeah, Jackie, I did hear that that the DeJoy stepped down. Who's who's he going to put? Is he even going to? Maybe Elon Musk will be the new U.S. postmaster, right? He can do everything. He's kind of like the new Jared. Remember in the last 4 years before Biden, when Jared, was it Jared that was in charge of everything and could do everything without any experience? Um, what are you saying, Wendy? One of the incels working for Trump got a prize at college for creating a program which automatically fills government forms. It can do ballots. Yeah, I believe that. But those guys, they're 18, 19, 22, 23 years old. Are they really going to follow orders? They're probably just as egotistical as Musk is. And they're just as uh, narcissistic and without boundaries and arrogant. I just don't see them, being uh, obedient and kind of kowtowing. That they might do it like ostensibly, but I really I see them like all having their own agendas. Yeah, I believe that too, Linda. There are young ones who will be singing like 20 a Tweety Bird, right, to save themselves. I see that. Um, hi, Patricia. Oh wow, I wonder if Anonymous has it. Well, they should. They should go ahead and do that. I hope they do it. I do think the allies are going to expose it. I'm waiting for them impatiently to do that. I think it's all about timing and just seeing how much of a threat, like how much they were going to carry out initially regarding being a threat, to NATO or withdrawing from NATO. But I believe that it's too risky. I think the ICC is going to have to step in to tell the truth about our elections. They just have to. That's what I've been praying on. Have anybody else been praying on it? But my guides say it's going to be okay, and I've heard other psychics, say similar things. Not all the psychics. Some psychics are, psychics. Well, we're like cats, right? Yeah, we all kind of march to the. What is a good analogy for cats marching? But we all, go to follow our own path, really. Um, Yeah, Wendy. He would have had to have incels help him because That's what he does. He doesn't create anything really. He hires people who he thinks are smart and will do that. Um, what are you saying, Kathy? Oh, Stephanie, it's good to see you. Oh, thank you so much. I believe the group Anonymous is working to get ahead of EM's minions, and everything's falling apart right now in that government. It's so disorganized. I heard that they're trying to walk back because of all these lawsuits. The Trump's administration is trying to walk back Elon's role in Doge, and now saying he's not really in charge of Doge because legally he's not allowed to do what he's doing. So they're trying to get to reframe it so that it's acceptable for him in his position to be carrying out Trump's orders, that he's not initiating anything. That's what they're trying to say. But I don't know if they'll be able to do that. Um, yeah, Meg is going to find out. I don't know if I mentioned this in other lives, but when I asked my guides, I said to my guides, "What more can Trump do to his people? Like he's already killed the GOP, right? That party." And they said he'll kill MAGA. That's the next thing that everything Trump touches dies, killing MAGA. And I'm saying that not literally, sort of, maybe, I don't know, like with COVID and whatever, but like he's going to kill that movement. That's his next population that he's going to target. I mean, he already has somewhat, but now he's really going to zero in, because that's just how perverse he is, that he would destroy those who love him the most. Yes, Wendy, the guys hacking into the government computers are the same guys who hacked the election. Absolutely. I mean, I'm not saying I have proof, but I absolutely believe that too. Um, yeah, but they're so young, and I don't think it'd be difficult to get them to be whistleblowers. I really don't. And MAGA, unfortunately, a friend of mine said something to the effect of, they still believe, some MAGA still believe that Trump was sent by God, and they're just going to patiently wait because this is all part of the plan. I'm sure the QAnon types and the evangelicals, whose preachers really have controlled them up to this point, telling them who to vote for and what to do, those guys. But people are getting affected where they live, so to speak. And people like the farmers who are getting screwed over, and they aren't necessarily evangelical. They just really believed that he cared for them, and that he was going to be good for the farmers or whatever. I mean, in their rural environment or what. Not that farmers are stupid or anything, but they somehow believe this bull about Trump being a populist president. They're finding out, right? It's FAFO. They are. And people who had government jobs and are losing them, people who had the food stamps, and their children got lunch at school and whatever. Yeah, they are finding out. And think about the pharmaceutical prices. That's one of the biggest things. No longer do they have $35 insulin, which Trump wanted to take credit for. Do you remember? And now it's blown out of the water. Hey, hi Les, hi Tippy. um well, that's it. Yeah, it's fascinating to me. And I think that in terms of people not being able to recognize the truth, and I really think that in terms of part of the shift, coming into Aquarius from Pisces, which is Pisces ruled by Neptune, which is the planet that has biggest influence over deception and delusion and all of that. um I believe that for some people, like in past incarnations, they believed in outlandish and outrageous things, and they, even when things were in front of their eyes, like the truth was there, their uh, weakness, or the lack of the ability to see the actual resonation of the truth, led them to believe all kinds of crazy things, right? If you think about And I'm not just saying because something is 500, belief is 500 or years old or 1,000 years old, that people at that time didn't weren't able to see the truth. But there definitely have always been these people believing in their thinking being diluted by religious beliefs or cultural beliefs or whatever, to the point of their destruction or harm. And I feel like this is a huge challenge. Like people who really kind of went that way in past lives are now being really challenged in this life to understand what the truth is. And Aquarius is all about the truth, right? Objectively, the truth. And part of collectively our evolutionary challenge as humanity is to recognize what is truth, what is actually divine truth, and what is not. Um, and it's sad that the vulnerability of people and the way that, especially so cynically in this day and age, how Putin so cynically used psyops, psychological operations, via KGB tactics, via Fox, via social media, via QAnon, took advantage of that human weakness, the inability or to see truth, or the desire. It's like a desire to fit in with everybody else and latch on to what everybody else they thought was true, even though it seems ridiculous, or it's actually ridiculous, because they want to fit in. They want to be part of this um, collective, and the fear of being, and we've all experienced when a group of people believe in one thing, and we believe in something completely different, and then we get ejected from that group because of that. And that's happened, hasn't it? So many people who've have MAGA families, and it's impossible to have discussions with them because if you believe something different, then you're out. You don't fit. Um, we don't trust anything anymore. Yeah. Oh, hey, baby. Melissa, what do you think of Nostradamus' prophecy of Trump with red blood spewing from his mouth? I really don't know about that prophecy. I don't know. What can you tell me what the prophecy is in context? And I'll ask my guides. Yeah, it is so crazy. So, so coming into Aquarius and Pluto being in Aquarius is, and I think Neptune is making some kind of hard transit or aspect to Saturn. Here we are. And we're at a point where our beliefs are life and death, like with COVID, right? Do you believe that COVID exists, or do you ignore it and shorten your life because of it? We have these choices. Yeah, Jamie, I agree. Absolutely. And I think maybe it's my hope. I'll ask my guys in a second, but I think coming in, being at this kind of like a degree of Aquarius and Pluto in Aquarius right now, I think karma is going to be more and more instant. Did you hear about that factory in Pennsylvania that blew up today? Everybody was safe, but like this huge, it was a factory that like made parts for space industries. I think it was connected somehow with Elon. I'm not 100% sure that it burned down to the ground today. I think more stuff like that's going to be happening. Brenda, you're saying 47 should not mess with timelines. Don't call. Oh, Melissa, don't tell people not to, or don't say don't, because that's inhibiting their expression. Okay, Brenda, I'm going to rephrase what I wanted to say. I don't call Trump 47 because I don't believe he's 47. I believe Kamala's 47. I really do. I think that's the truth. I think that's so I'm not going to give him, I'm not going to, I could call him felon 47 or something like that, or really felon 45. So, because he stole that title, in my opinion. But you can call him 47. That's okay. 47 should have not messed with timelines in the first place. It's going to backfire. I 100% agree with you. Everything's going to backfire, and literally backfire. Um, I know many federal workers now clock in and clock out right on time. due to not knowing if they'll have jobs. Yeah, and Elon doesn't even have any right to do that. They're trying to make him legitimate, but talk about backfiring. He wasn't legitimate to begin with. Now they're trying to kind of reframe his position, but that's going to have to backfire for him because he's so vulnerable to so many lawsuits. Um, and he's not even a federal employee. Wildfire is saying you are right. People want to fit in, and they think if John believes it, it must be true. And the insecurity of trusting their own um, perceptions as conditioning, as cultural conditioning, is is Putin going to visit the White House? He asked the guys. I had a vision of him sitting in the executive office, in the Oval Office, sorry, in the chair behind the desk. I mean, I think that's what he wants. And really, he probably, I mean, he is sitting behind the Oval Office for all practical purposes because he's running the show, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, I think he's a criminal in chief too, Wildflower. Yeah, FAFO TB outbreaks. Yeah, there's a huge measles outbreak in Texas right now. Easy to believe anti-vax conspiracy theories when there's actual herd immunity, but now with more and more people not vaccinating their kids. Yeah, and that's where destroying MAGA comes in. His next uh, the second act after killing the GOP, destroying MAGA. I could almost feel. I mean, I do feel sorry for them in a way, but at the same time, I mean, they're so obnoxious. So let me ask the guys about uh, the Putin visit. Oh, that's a good. Yeah, maybe he'll send one of his. Oh, good, Lisa. And there's a lot of I think 5 different like flus and COVIDs. Like a lot of things are going around right now. Um, yeah, maybe he'll just send Lavrov or somebody like that. Will any of the fired CIA form a plot against? I think those plots are already kind of underway myself. Body double. Um, uh, Melissa, I call him F-34. It describes him. um, yeah, body double. Maybe, but then they'd have to kind of arrest the body double. Let's see. See what the guys say. He wants to, but I think I don't know if he can. I think I think plus I think he's scared to travel. And I have seen like Prigozhin, like his ghost, like following Putin around. Like Putin is so terrified that he's going to get Prigozhin. It's okay, Dark Mother. No worries. Good to see you. Um, yeah, he dreams of Prigozhin. It's like in my guides, allegedly, I mean, what I'm hearing from my guides. They show me this dream that Putin has that he's on a train and Prigozhin all of a sudden is sitting across from him on this train, and he starts talking to Putin like he they always used to have these conversations where Prigozhin so had a really like I don't know like a morbid sense of humor, and Putin sees all of a sudden he's in his coffin. He's in like a raised coffin that where people are walking around and he sees Prigozhin like standing laughing. This is what my guys are showing me right now, pointing at him like, okay, Vladimir, you can come with me now. Let's go. But that's like his worst nightmare. But Prigozhin is always haunting him. And I believe Prigozhin really, I believe that's the truth. Hey, Bonnie, fall out of a window side. Yes. And I do see Oh, let's see what you're saying here, Wendy. The false trumpet concealing madness will cause Byzantium to change its laws. From Egypt, there will go forth a man who at once edits withdrawn, changing money and standards. That's so interesting. So that's part. So you're going to come up with part two here. That come up. I mean, you're going to post part two. I'll read that when it comes up. Hey, Bonnie. Um, and they also show me, and I might have mentioned this in the last live stream, but the oligarchs, our oligarchs, the American technoligarchs or whatever, also being very vulnerable to, um, shall I say, Windows side or not necessarily Windows side, but something akin. Because what they showed me, which was really interesting, was that, which I hadn't really thought of before, is it's not just that they said allegedly anyway, that, or I mean, my guides did say, but this is alleged because this is what I'm hearing. And oh, for entertainment purposes only, I'm just a psychic. What do I know? Disclaimer, YouTube. Uh, they said that all of Putin's oligarchs are beholden to him. He owns them. Once, even innocently, if one of them makes an alliance in any way with him, he somehow is able to absorb them. So they lose their agency, they lose their autonomy. And the guide said that it's not just because let's say we hear, which we've heard of quite a few, right, in the last few years, wouldn't get window sided or however they meet their demise. It's not just because he is paranoid, that they'll, plot against him, or that he is angry at them, or they disobeyed him. There's some kind of agreement that, this is what I'm hearing, so that Putin will be able, once they meet their end, meet their maker, he can take their money, he can take their assets, and when he needs money or something from them, and it suits, it's kind of like, life insurance policies or something, and he really needs uh resources, then that's when he allegedly uh unalives an oligarch, and then he takes their wealth. And that made a lot of sense to me. I don't know what you guys think of, not what else, but what you think of what my guy said, but it made so much sense. So uh along those lines, people like Musk or TL, etc., may be very vulnerable to meet their ends because allegedly Putin wants wants their assets. And he's uh, totally drained Russia's assets, like in this war that he's been waging, which he's losing. So it makes sense. So let's see. Delphian, back in the USSR, boy, those Moscow gals and the gals from the Urals sing raindrops keep falling on Doug's head. Putin told us, or we would all be dead. Okay. See the new comments here. Yeah, I have thought that too, Lee, or Les, I'm sorry. Supposedly, GOP members in Congress are afraid for their families, so they fear going against those guys. I agree. It's the mafia. Yeah, Linda, it's the mob. Yeah, there's nothing of value in Russia to want. Now that all their oil refineries are being blown up. Oh, that's true. F-34 isn't allowed in most countries because he's a felon. Oh my God. JC, that it's good to see you. Yeah, it is. It is transnational organized crime. So well, There's going to be some kind of Zoom meeting or something with Tim Walz. I don't know whether it's already happened, but it's coming up. But I think that Kamala and Tim and also Joe are quiet because I still think behind the scenes there's investigations going on, and there are there's a potential of the secrets of this election being a fraud coming out, and there's a potential for this coup to be ended. And then I think it will be international if that should happen. I wrap my mind away around ways that it could happen. Poor Pooty has to trade oils for his old T-72 with China. It was the New York Russian mob that made a man out of Danny Fallon 34 and so much more. I agree with you. Yes, thank you. For entertainment purposes only, YouTube. We're just having a lively conversation. Um, well, I don't know. I think right now, I think she's out of sight, but I don't think my guide showed me this very clearly that she's very active as well as Biden in trying to figure out and when to take action. She doesn't want to draw attention to herself right now because there's more value to her. I still see her as a presidential being, um, and it's not just America; it's the whole world right now. It's a huge like multi-dimensional chess game. It reminds me of Iron Man, of when he has his lab and his holograms and things like that. It's a lot going on. It's beyond my ability. I think I can, uh, or maybe it's just that we're not supposed to know right now. But I think the silence is more telling than the actual speaking out. But I don't know. I mean, I understand that we need people to be speaking out. Um, but maybe it is a moment. Maybe I don't know. I feel like they're waiting for something other. Where are they going to lead us to? What is the action? I don't. I love the Democratic Party. So I'm a Democrat tried and true. I don't think starting a third party personally is helpful right now. I think the Democrats need to stick together, and I do worry about Putin trying to divide us for years. To always criticize the Democrats, but don't criticize the GOP. On the other hand, eventually there will be a time for third parties. I don't really think we're in a time for that right now, but that's just my opinion. Um, yeah, there's been a lot of protests. Has anybody been to a protest? Um, Carolyn, what do you agree with? Yeah, I think that silence is there's a reason for it, but I don't know. I'll ask the guys. Yeah, they want the Republicans to implode on their own. That definitely could be, yeah, for sure. Um, let's see. What do the guides say here? Yeah, they say there's so much going on behind the scenes, and they still show me Kamala as the Queen of Swords. She's there. She does have our backs, but the less that the so-called government knows, the less that Trump's administration knows, the stronger the more effective they can be. I'm talking about Kamala and and it's so like ironic that for years and what the Republicans talk about a shadow government, and then they force a shadow government to have to exist, right? All the things all the paranoia they had, and now that stuff has to happen uh, to save our democracy. All right, Carolyn. I remember Cory Booker saying, just because you don't see anything happening doesn't mean nothing is. Oh man, I'm sorry, JC. Good. I'm I'm hoping it's okay for me to post that. May you get well very quickly. Um, and just because I'm seeing these things, I'm just telling you from my point of view. You know, Trump admin is going after AOC. Well, they're, Elon Musk, what he said that um, the not the AP, some other news organization should, PBS or something. They should be in prison. Not going to happen. But they're using the Nazi playbook right now. Resistabot. What is that, Earth Mama? What is Resistabot? I'm going to have to look up Resistabot. That sounds pretty cool. So my guys say, God, I can't remember what I'm asking now. They do have a backbone, Wendy. I think that they have been every single day speaking up against this government, but they are in the minority now. Thank you, Elon, because I believe that if Elon hadn't messed with our votes, actually we would be in power. But they're right now they're not. I mean, they are speaking out, and I believe that Pete Buttigieg is going to be like giving a a briefing every day, a news briefing after the GOP's. And I think it just took them also a while to figure out what to do because it's a coup, and things were happening that had never happened before. But I don't believe it's because they're weak. And if you talk about Dems, AOC and even Bernie Sanders, and there's many many Democratic politicians are speaking out. Um, so, well, Dark Mother, I don't know. I think that what happened was she said you're saying that Biden had immunity; he could do whatever he wanted. I don't think he didn't want to break norms. Number one, but number two, when I asked about this myself, the guides kept on saying everything would go through the courts, and they just didn't trust. Biden didn't trust what would happen when things got to the Supreme Court, and so they had to take a different tack because they just saw it would strengthen Trump's presidency, so to speak, like the validity of this election if they allowed it to go to the Supreme Court. Yeah, well, the mainstream media is owned by Putin. It's owned by um, oligarchs and Trump billionaires. If you look at where the money is, we really don't have a mainstream media that is neutral at all. It's very much has been appropriated as an arm of the coup. Um, so the guys say that it's Trump is just theatrical. He's not AOC is not going to go to prison, and but Trump might. They still see the coup being overthrown, and I think in a way that is like it's going to come from like a blind spot within this so-called administration, so that they're just not protected. I think they thought that they made themselves invulnerable. Is that the word from being toppled? But the guys show me they have not. They underestimate the American government and their allegiance to the Constitution. So yeah, there's a lot of things we're frustrated about, but there is a reason to the silence. There is a method to the madness, so to speak, a method to this. Even though it looks, we feel abandoned. We have not been abandoned. Oh, which reminds me that Yeah, what the guides wanted me to tell you, because I always ask them, well, what do they want to tell you, before I do a live? And they said that we're witnessing an inferno, like a tower that's on fire, like a massive inferno. And the thing about this inferno, it burns intensely and it causes mass destruction, but there's only so long it can burn, and then it turns into ashes, and that's what's going to happen because the fire is just so intense, kind of like the California wildfires. But this is to do with an institution, and they want people to make sure they stand on the periphery of the inferno and not get sucked into the inferno, even emotionally or mentally. And it will burn itself out, and there'll be nothing left of it. But we need to be on the outskirts of it as we watch it happen. Like as Rome burned, I'm sure there were people who went to the hills and were looking down on it. So we have to protect ourselves and not to get sucked into it. And whatever that means to you. Oh, thank you, Linda. I love all these recommendations. Oh, really? Tell me about that, Delphian. I've been reading Scotta's case, impairing or limiting presidential powers like the Big East Youngstown. Tell me about Youngstown. I've asked that too, and gotten some information about. Well, it just makes logical sense to me that SCOTUS might start limiting presidential powers because they're worried that he would get rid of them and they would be powerless, like be toothless. And I think they see that because he has immunity, but is it absolute immunity? Wasn't it? Do you remember when that was being tested, and it was thrown back down to was it Georgia or whatever, to come up with what the immunity was actually like about, and where he was immune and where he wasn't immune. Was it how was that defined? So I thought it was contextual, not 100%. Like there were some limits. It was very broad, but I feel like that was left up in the air. So this is very interesting what you're saying. Uh, he doesn't care. Yes, I think he told everybody he stole the election, but he's such a stupid man. But what he said during the election, right? He said, I don't need your vote. You'll never have to vote again. So in his mind, he thinks it's a done deal. Now that he's president, that's what he gathered from Elon. Elon was probably telling him this, and Putin was telling him this. There will be no more elections because we'll flip all the votes, which isn't true. There have been elections since he's been elected, or illegally, not elected, but put installed. And there will continue to be elections, but he's too stupid to realize that you can't piss off your supporters, right? Like he pissed off immediately, alienated the Venezuelans and the Palestinians and the farmers and what other big group? Um, the unions, the police, uh, unions, because they or that police order that uh, was really angry that he uh, disrespected or let out the J6 protesters because they had harmed policemen and women. So he doesn't. I mean, even the people who did vote for him, he's such a stupid man to think he doesn't need them. He does need them. He continues to need supporters. All dictators in their infancy years need the people who put them in there to stick around. But he's so arrogant and probably didn't quite understand, or I didn't have a logical analytical mind to really think about how, even though, like, and this is what I think, allegedly, Elon gave him the election, Putin gave him the election, and bought him, right? Bought the election for him. That this still wouldn't be that it's not a done deal. It's not like the end of democracy right now. They're trying to end it, but it's not ended. So, although he thinks he doesn't need votes, he does need votes, but he's cognizant of what happened. He knows what happened. He was told it was going to happen. I believe that anyway. Um, the protests are better left to the people, a grassroots movement. Um, Donald doesn't have a little kid riding around his shoulders. Secret Service, I don't know so much how effective. Oh, that little kid, the demon child, right? Like, oh my God, I couldn't even believe that press conference. Did that even happen? Was that last week after my last live, or did that happen before? I can't even remember. But oh yeah, Canadian here. It's just sad to see what he's doing to America. It is. It's tragic. Um, oh, sorry. Oh, it said was somebody commenting about Channel 4. Are you talking about Channel 4 in England or Channel 4 in this country? Do you see midterm House and Senate going blue and not flip to red? Um, that's a good question. All these, will we ever live in a time where we're just not biting our nails, biting our lips to see, oh my God, what's the next thing? The next thing that can happen. Let's see. Um, well, he said he does need votes. Uh, he does need votes, at least for the present time. If it went on in like the worst case scenario and we no longer had a democracy, that's possibly true. But I think right now we're not quite there yet. Yeah. Um, oh, that's interesting, Delphine. Everybody, you can read that comment. The presidential powers are enumerated in Article 2 of the U.S. Constitution of 1789 as amended. SCOTUS secured judicial review under Madison and Mayberry. I studied at McGill, missed McCutre. Okay. Oh, yeah. Channel 4 News is British, very interesting and a breath of fresh air. Yeah, definitely. That's their independent channel, right? Um, so some may, but JC, but I'm not seeing that as like a in totality. I just don't. My guides aren't showing me, and I don't think so. But let's see. But what I'm just saying. There are definitely going to be. Oh, that was the question. The Senate and the House. I don't know if I'm good at, right now. If I feel secure about predicting anything, but let's see. They see Democrats taking hold again. I hope that's true. Oh, more airplane crashes. What the hell? That the plane that landed in Toronto that was upside down, the Delta plane. What the hell went on there? I don't even know. Yeah, I agree. Um, so let's see. What else can I tell you? I know I want to reassure you. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness, it's on Sunday, Angela, isn't it? Oh, let's pray for that. I think potentially Elon going over there made it worse for the Nazi party because I think people, if anything, that would have woken the Germans up as to the potential. When he gave the Roman salute, when he gave the Nazi salute to the Nazi party when he went immediately after it was immediately after the elections and spoke in was it Munich? I'm not 100% sure. Crash Paloozas. So, um, oh, well, now I forgot. Let me see. The guides say that the tides are turning. It's like the Wheel of Fortune card in the tarot. It's turning back towards the Western democracies. There's been so much like behind the scenes in terms of trying to secure elections and trying to continue to find the truth about the satellites, about ways to interfere with the with Elon's satellites. Because like he's not the only one that has access to hackers and uh, computer nerds and genius. Not that you have to be a nerd. I'm sorry, I take that back. And I think people should be proud to be nerds because nerds mean they're intelligent, and they like to study. And sorry, take that back. I wish I have to bleep that out because I don't want that to be a pejorative. Um, yeah, people who are very good at computer programming to you know, Elon's not the only one who has access to brilliant minds who are electronic and computer geniuses. That's what, yeah, scramble signals. Are you talking about like the JC, are we all talking here about the plane crashes? Um, uh, it's so horrific, the taking over of and the firing of the um, the federal agencies that that end up with causing plane crashes. Yes, they are to the letter. What are you saying, Delphine? The hacking we shall go, the hacking we shall go. Hi, hi ho the Maria, the hacking defrauding we shall go. Um, so we're watching we're watching the tower start to, the tower card, like, and I'm using the tower as an analogy to the current administration and the White House and this whole 2025 plan. And they're beginning to like go back and forth on their foundation. They're almost showing me it like the Eiffel, yeah, the Eiffel Tower, or the like the way the base is, and it can rock back and forth and rock back and forth, and it's going to topple, and it's going to be really sensational when it topples, like in a very sensationalistic way. So it's very unstable right now. So I want to read you our Sacred Forest Oracle card. I know I'm sticking to this deck, but I love it. I'll probably go through each card, but this is the card that the guide showed for us today. Wolf Spirit, family. You guys are my family. So I love this card. I think it's very appropriate. Your family has your back. For some people, their family are those related by blood, while for others, their friends are their true family. Many might find that it is their connection to those in spirit who are indeed their true family. Whoever and wherever your family are right now, they are supporting you. You are safe. You can safely communicate your truth with family members. This is the time to be willing to communicate from the depth of your being. Be willing to stand, talk, and address others from the center of your being. This heals. Many people have misconceptions and false stereotypes about wolves. They don't understand that wolves are highly social and loyal. Family means everything to a wolf. Each pack member has a place in the social strata of the clan. Wolves are excellent communicators. They use their voices in various configurations. They also use expressions to convey meaning to their pack members. They are highly protective of the other members of their pack, yet they enjoy playing even into adulthood. The spirit of the wolf says, support is all around you, even if you are not aware of it. Release the belief that you have to do it alone. You don't. This is a time to heal any rifts in your family. Give encouragement to those in your soul tribe, your family, and your community. Allow yourself to be supported. Wolf spirit, family. And I have another card for you guys. They are so beautiful. This is I don't know if you can see it. I know the light is wonky. I since I've started doing these lives, I do them in the afternoon. When I used to um, do videos for my Sundays, it was in the morning and the light was different. So I'm still getting used to it and trying to figure it out. Sacred Forest Oracle by Denise Lynn. So I got these new, or well, they're oracle cards, but they're angel number cards because I want to learn more about angel numbers. People are always asking me when I do readings that you know this number keeps on coming up. What does it mean? And I ask my guides, but I feel like I should know more about angel numbers. I see numbers too that keep on coming up, but this is the one that we got. Okay, this is the number 345 or 345. Transition. And so the meaning of 345 is you are in a period of transition and change. Embrace new beginnings and trust in the process of transformation unfolding in your life. Transition 345. So I don't see the author of this deck, but I think it's kind of cool. Angel, it's a Divine Angel Oracle deck. Dark Mother. Oh, thank you, JC. Um, I get all my messages and numbers. It's crazy on the hour, every hour. And what my guides told me about angel numbers is that it's a way of downloading information at that time because we're getting all of this download right now for the Aquarian age to upgrade. Like, our software is getting upgraded and it's coming to us, or at least that's one communication or one thing that's happening when we see our angel numbers is that's actually when the downloads happen. 2222 Earth Mom, what is 2222? Do you know what do your guides tell you that means? Um, and this is I don't think I haven't seen 4-digit numbers here. I've only seen 3, but I'm sure it goes all the way up to infinity. And there's definitely shifting going on right now. There's intense energy. I do believe in the splitting of the dimensions. I was told that a long time ago by somebody, that the dimensions would split around this time. The lower density dimensions and the higher dimensions, the higher frequency dimensions splitting as we shift into Aquarius because the requirement is much uh, faster frequency and density really can't come to this shift to this new place that we're in as we or this new dimensional reality. You know, the light body, the fifth dimension, ascension, all of that requires a more rapid light infused vibration or vibrational shift. And if people are holding to the denser energies, they're not being able to come. So that we're experiencing this very much perceptually, and it's through perception that we can perceive uh, the other dimensions. And I think there are there are many dimensions that uh, as we enter into Aquarius, we're going to be able to perceive that we're not perceiving right now. But when I'm talking about, dimensions, the dimensions maybe where some people are being able to see nature spirits, their angels, fairies, all of that, um, auras exist on different dimensional planes, but that's all perceptual. And when I say perceptual, I'm talking about the opening of the third chakra and the crown chakra as as our vibrations raise, and that absolutely is so transmuted through the chakras. Does that make sense? Numerology is a 9-year. Interesting. Finality before the new. Hey, Jojo. Um, Supreme angel protection. Oh, so you see um, your angel numbers and license plates. It's interesting how all of a sudden there's that number. It's so crazy. Or if you look at the time, and that's your angel number, and God, I do that every hour. Like um, it's just it stops at the or I notice at the exact. For mine, it's like 11 after. So out of nowhere, I'll decide to look. I don't wear a watch. I'll look at my phone or the oven or something, and it'll be like 12:11 or it'll be 1:11. It just happens every hour sometimes. Two is cooperation in relationships. It does feel like the cosmic wave is cresting and ready to break. Absolutely. So for everybody who is experiencing this intensity, and I know vibrationally can definitely uh, you feel fear and apprehension because you're looking on your YouTube and all of a sudden you see some headline that something terrible is happening. Elon is now like cutting off aid for everybody except for himself, whatever that is. It's terrifying. But the requirement, it's not to not act and to not uh, take action to stop this horrendous stuff, but the challenge is personally to still be centered, to still be a channel for these higher vibrations, to still be a channel for light to come into the earth and to bring Gaia energy, earth energy up into the heavens. We're still required to do that at the same time, because what is our reality? What have we learned from meditation? What have we learned from the story of the Buddha, let's say, where whatever is happening in our temporal world, we recognize that we our soul is connected to the infinite, and there's many challenges here, but we need to practice them so that we're still connected to our higher selves and to our angels. We still feel light coming in, and we still open ourselves up to the light, as opposed to being in a resting fear state and disconnecting. So that's I think that's a requirement of this time right now. So oh, thank you. Um, I'm about to end the live stream, but are there any other questions or comments that people want to make? I love this discussion about angel numbers. I'll see if I can learn more myself um, regarding angel numbers, or what the guides want to tell us about angel numbers, because they are ubiquitous right now in terms of light workers and people on this path. See, if you want some beautiful meditative music, Chantra Siba is amazing. Okay, I'll check Chantra Siba out. Les, you're welcome. That's true. The bankruptcy farmers too. Don doesn't know where McDonald's gets ingredients to make his luscious meals. 100%. Okay, you guys, thank you for turning up to the live. Love you all. You are my family. And I will be back next week. Take care and be well. Bye-bye. Love you all.